Aaron comes to you and says he wants a trade, are you going to be any more willing to trade him than you were last offseason, or are you still saying you're not trading him?
Yeah, no, Matt, those are kind of some hypotheticals. I don't think we're going to go down those roads right now.
While you're waiting for Aaron Rodgers to make his decision about his future and finalize that, how does that affect your other decisions for the organization going forward?
Yeah, I think, obviously everything around here kind of centers around the quarterback. That's kind of how we do things. So it's a big piece. It's a domino that kind of has to fall before we go down, other avenues. So it's important, as we go through this and the puzzle pieces that we got to make fit, I think. So that's the first one to go. So
the franchise tag window is open right now. Are you going to use that on Davante Adams?
Yeah, again, another hypothetical. So we'll kind of, it's not something we like to do. We'd certainly, not like to do that if we don't have to. We'd certainly like to come up with a long-term deal that works for both sides. But that's, it's a hypothetical that a lot of things have to happen before we get to that point.
Well, in terms of your plan, is there a scenario in which you wouldn't tag or extend Davante Adams? Could he walk, or could you let him walk?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, again, like I said, I think there's a lot of things to be determined there.
We don't know what the calendar looks like. We know March 16th, we know the tag ends on the 8th and all that stuff. But has the organization given Aaron a hard and fast date? Listen, we need to know by this time.
Again, those aren't things that I would, speak about here. But no, I think, again, this has been more of a conversation about kind of where we're headed and together. And that's, there's a process that obviously we're going through. There's a process that he's going through, and I think we're very respectful of that.
Do you see an avenue to retaining Aaron Rodgers without Davante Adams?
Again, hypotheticals, but yeah, I kind of think everything's open at this point.
A scenario where you could keep Rodgers, keep Adams, and still be competitive by building around them without just destroying your salary cap?
Yeah, I feel very confident about that. I do. I think, again, I got to give a lot of credit to Russ. He does an excellent job, and we've worked through a lot of different scenarios. There's always challenges, but having good players here, you work around that. And I think having those guys here certainly makes us a very good football team.
Is there anything you can take from what this organization went through with Brett that you can apply to how you're handling where you're at with the current quarterback?
I think they're two different situations. And to be fair, Jason, I wasn't here on a day-to-day basis to really, have my kind of finger on the pulse of what was going on. And a lot of what I know about that time is more, kind of third-hand information. At the same time, I think the most important thing is we build the football team. I think that's the most important. You don't ever stop building our football team and trying to get better. And then I think, certainly through the last, 3 years or so, just kind of like, learning what is important, to our players. And I think it's a changing environment that way.
How anxious, though, are you as GM for him to make a decision and kind of move forward?
Yeah, like I said, the earlier the better. But depending on what that decision is, again, we've talked about this at length, and he's very well aware of our timeline, and so I'm very hopeful that those things will happen the right way they're supposed to, and I believe they will.
If they're not back, how confident are you that you will field a competitive team in 2022?
Yeah, we're going to field a competitive team regardless. I mean, I think. We're the Green Bay Packers, and I think we've got a really good football team in front of us. Again, those are elite players, and whenever you have elite players, you feel good about that. And you may have to do things different ways if those hypotheticals come into play. But we'll see where it goes. But I like the nucleus and the core foundation of our football team.
Brian, do you guys feel like there's any pressure on you guys to get a deal done with Davante Adams, knowing that it might heavily affect Aaron Rodgers' decision moving forward?
Again, hypotheticals, but I don't really look at it. I don't feel the pressure of that, no.
Brian, are you taking any calls about Jordan Love? I mean, do you get the sense that teams around the league look at the roster here and think there's a young franchise quarterback waiting for a shot?
Yeah, this isn't that time, but, I think I would be very doubtful that I would take very many of those calls, to begin with, but this isn't the time that those calls happen. So I think everybody right now is just kind of, we're all preparing, getting the information from your draft meetings and the combine and free agency meetings and things like that, trying to kind of map out what you're going to do, what options are available to you. But those calls don't happen right now.
Brian, where is Jordan at in his development?
I thought last spring was a really good period of time for him to kind of have all the reps to himself and go through. I think obviously during the NFL season, it's tough as a backup quarterback with the way we do things nowadays to develop. But at the same time, I thought he made some really good strides, and really excited to kind of see where he goes from here. You know what I mean? I think obviously I'm sure he would like, for some things to have been different in the games that he did play. But I thought there were some really positive signs throughout the year, especially in the spring.